Welcome back to Mullen Lave Wargaming. This is War in the Pacific Admirals Edition, playing a play-by-email campaign in Scenario 1 as Japan. Now setting up the December 21st, 1941 turn. Starting off in China as we typically do, the minefields in Hong Kong are cleared, so we're moving in an amphibious task force, and they're going to take the 38th Division to the Philippines. I'm also planning on taking the 33rd Division to the Philippines before sending it to Rangoon. With the enemy troop buildup in Burma, we're not going to want to go in there light anyways, so I'd rather just take care of business out here in the middle of the theater before sending stuff out to the ends. Got a whole bunch of enemy units kind of coalescing around Chusin, so it looks like they want to put up a pretty good defense. I'm hoping I can interrupt this storm before it fully gathers. In the prior turn I mentioned I was bombing these guys to try to slow them down. I'm hopeful that between slowing them down and then catching these retreating units, hopefully, and then the fact that some of these other ones are on minor roads, so they're going to be slow to begin with. Hopefully we can cut them off. And of course we've got one division plus a regiment about to arrive, some armor behind them, plus another regiment. So it's going to be close. So I haven't done it yet. But I've got these two divisions following this armored car company to Xinjiang, and it turns out we really don't need them there, so I think those divisions are going to turn around, go to Hankow, and that's going to be who addresses these guys when they come out on the other side of this road. And then lastly, we've got a division and a tank regiment ready to attack these two units near Changting. At Pauto, we're gonna scale back to a deliberate attack. This was a shock attack last time, I think. We can keep going. The casualties are favoring us. Just a matter of trying not to take so many ourselves. In Malaya, we're gonna bomb Singapore for the first time. They seem to be out of fighters, so we're expecting pretty clear skies. We will have one unit of Oscars providing sweeps, and then our second unit of Oscar 1 Charlies recently transitioned from Nates, and they'll be providing escort services for the bombers. But overall, I'd say in Malaya we're progressing towards the end game at this point. My main task at the moment is to gather as many army units outside Singapore as soon as I possibly can. The goal is by the end of the year, and that looks possible. So we'll see. Keeping in mind we're going to be opening up a lot of these railways in the coming days. Like the Imperial Guards Division is just here right now. But once we get them to Taiping, they can just rail down to Kuala Lumpur as it stands right now. And of course, by the time they get to Taiping, we'll probably have Malacca opened up. And then it'll just be a short drive down the road to Johor Bahru. Puerto Princesa. So I've already got these guys allocated to take that space, but since they bombed these guys, and I mean this ship's actually pretty badly damaged. It originally detached, and I put them back because like there's nowhere good for them to run to that's better than them just moving 2 hexes and dropping off their troops immediately. So they're going to go ahead and kill the guys that are harassing them. So that'll be pretty fitting. Now we've got troops over here on Panay now. It's kind of interesting that the enemy units present here aren't at the main base of Iloilo, but they're out on the road up here. So maybe he's planning on doing some guerrilla warfare by trying to conceal where his units are hiding. Not really sure. We're advancing on the northern coast of Mindanao towards Cagayan. I'm sending the battleships to do another bombardment run. Up here, still waiting to get to Lucena, and I'm getting the rest of the armor up to Bayambang. I don't really want to do anything else until I can move these tanks back. And for now we're not even attacking because that shock attack last turn gave me pretty high fatigue and disruption. 4th Tank Regiment's down to 58% TOE. I mean, that's just bad. Yeah, we lost a few tanks plus several more disabled, so let's push a little less hard there for now. San Fernando will be up to a level 4 base next turn, which will allow operation of medium bombers without penalty. Due to that, I'm rebasing 2 Sally squadrons from the 3rd Air Division here. I'm also rebasing the 5th Air Division headquarters. They're going to be heading down here in the turns to come. So that's San Fernando's going to end up becoming kind of the new hub. Yeah, so major bombing incoming of ground troops at Clark and Manila because of that. And once again, this is an area where it seems like the enemy fighter presence is basically broken. We're still getting a few fighters in the air over Clark, but it's pretty unsustainable, and it's not going to hold up against my zeros. So moving down to the Dutch East Indies, right before I started doing this video I realized I made a mistake. When I originally turned in my orders, I had completely forgotten to issue orders to Carrier Division 2. I've sent a corrected turnover. Hopefully he hasn't started yet and he won't mind using the corrected version, but I don't know what's going to happen with that regard. Pretty much his call. But anyway, what I'd like Carrier Division 2 to do instead of just proceeding to its original destination over here is loop back a little bit towards Darwin and just keep these guys in range, and then hopefully get a shot at this rather interesting target over here, which, if we believe the classification we're being given, that's probably the Hermes. During the combat replay, instead of a carrier being reported, this was a light cruiser. In any case, very target-rich environments over here, so I'd rather have my carrier stay here than run west looking for targets that might not be there and potentially running into Force Z. Also, Amphibious Task Force is 1 spot away from Ambon, so that should be a pretty easy overrun. Port Moresby still has at least 6 ships in task forces, plus 2 in port. I suspect one of the ships in port is actually going to be the Adelaide. Maybe instead of trying to make it all the way to Brisbane while taking on lots of water, they're trying to stabilize it here first. Which makes me want to bomb it. Unfortunately, I mean, they're not. It says there's no fighters here. That could change anytime. So I'm reluctant to send Bettys here to bomb anything without a fighter escort, anyways. I don't know, maybe one solution is I could just take zeros off the KB and fly them down here. Of course, I just thought of that now, and I've already done the orders. But I'm delivering zeros soon from the Tayo. So these zeros are actually from the Marshals, but I wouldn't mind dropping them off at Rabaul for a little bit, especially as I'm busy taking other zeros back. You know, the Okamoto detachment's probably gonna load up next time, and maybe one or two of these guys here, and the Marshals. We've got at least one more to go. So these bogies ended up moving northeast instead of east. The due east course would have put them on track for Baker Island. So I'm still having the sub try to intercept them. It's just going to be a more difficult intercept. I've also given the Mavis's naval attack orders instead of search orders exclusively. He's not going to end up in Nell range. I do have one pair of Bettys that might be able to reach him. But it looks like the most likely thing to happen to this guy is he's just going to get away. Alright, so that'll do it. See you for the combat replay. Thanks for watching. And away we go. Combat replay for December 21st in progress. Still trying to track down at least one PT outside of Hong Kong. I did not see what that message was at Port Moresby. Mark 14. We got away with one. This cargo ship, it's apparently traveling alone. I don't do that very often. Probably made a mistake. Well, at least I'm not the only one that's having trouble depth charging subs with any success. Can we get this guy? He's actually in Ambon and shallow water? No. 4 destroyers present too, man. Here we go. Let's get this PT. Nope. Lots of contacts out there. Ha. Well, we found the task force at Port Moresby. All AKLs, apparently. And all confirmed sunk. Looks like there may have been a second task force there. Alright, got a second chance at this guy at Ambon. Damaging near miss, times 2, times 3. Well, this PB is showing up the destroyers, which is a little sad, but still, damaging near misses are a far cry from a solid connection. just took a damaging near miss. Oh, that's a kill. Let's get those kingfishers. So that didn't get the kingfishers. Didn't really get much of anything. Alright, we got 150mm coastal defense gun firing, and it is getting some work done. So we've got 2 ships hit, one of them on fire, and we are taking casualties. But it's going to be too late for Ambon. The cruisers didn't kill the kingfishers. My troops will, you know, unless they evacuate them before the base flips. Which they'll probably do if they have anywhere with aviation support to send them. Let's get them. Nope. Alright, so this rowboat was positioned here to try to intercept the Adelaide, but only sighting a destroyer. I wonder if that destroyer was actually intended to escort the Adelaide back, but the Adelaide sank. We just left the destroyer to proceed on its own. Got away with one there. Allied dive bombers outside Port Moresby. Interesting. Nope, they sent 3 and we shot down 2. Can't complain. Alright, it's starting to smoke down there, so damage is accumulating a bit. Not getting a whole lot of hits, though. Hey, we got a destroyer. Nice. Well, minimal damage to the airbase at Singapore. Weather wasn't that bad. But they're forcing us to bomb from pretty high up with all those flak guns. Yeah, that's just pathetic. 2 hits with 29 planes. I think with 2 battleships I'd be throwing up more flak than that. Okay, we'll call that 2 more kills. Alright, we've got another target. Nice. Alright, 2 out of 3 ain't bad, including the escort. Escorts are in high demand. Yeah, we picked another target too, not bad at all. Cavalry Division 2 putting in the work. That's the Kingfishers again. At least they missed this time. It's kind of interesting that they're not trying to defend themselves anymore. They're going after the task force at Panay. Yeah, these guys just keep sitting off Indochina. Our planes see them, our sub-chasers go after them, and can't seem to get any hits. Alright, well that didn't work out so great. Suffering from a little fatigue. Might be in our interest to rest a bit, although casualties are very much lopsided in our favor. So we should get these guys eventually. This is much more in our favor. So these guys retreat. Again, we could use more forces here. Oh, it's a bombardment attack anyways. Yeah. Bombarding in Shihore. Alright, San Jose's ours without resistance. Clearly have enough to take Ambon. Going over the individual theaters, in China we still have one motor torpedo boat on the loose that escaped from Hong Kong. As far as I know, everyone else has been sunk. The only other thing that happened in China was land combat. So over in Changting, we had a deliberate attack the enemy held, but casualties in terms of squad disablements in particular, very much in our favor. And then a little bit north off the map in Pauto, we've routed an enemy unit, basically took no casualties on our side while destroying 202 devices for them. In Malaya, our Bettys picked off an HDML at Singapore while our Zero sweeps, or no, they were actually Oscar sweeps. Our Oscar sweep shot down 2 Buffaloes over Singapore. In the Philippines, those pesky Kingfishers in Puerto Princesa have their days numbered. We had a bombardment by 2 cruisers that did not get them, but we've landed troops, so we're going to conquer that tomorrow, and hopefully the Kingfishers don't get out in time. If they do, yeah, well, we'll get them eventually. We've captured San Jose, where we landed last turn. You can see the enemy vacated that base, or actually probably vacated Eolio. So they're, I don't know, doing the guerrilla warfare thing, or trying to anyways. And then at Clark, on a day-to-day basis, we're not doing a whole lot of damage there, but we're seeing the fire animations popping up, so we know that damage is accumulating pretty well there. And then our airstrike on Manila took out a destroyer, and there's a good chance that was the last ship that was left there. And then also in the Luzon Strait, really right off the coast of China, so not in the Luzon Strait at all, U.S. sub put a dud Mark 14 in the side of a cargo ship. The Dutch East Indies, we had action over in the Timor Sea area and at Ambon principally. So at Ambon we're taking coastal defense fire, and that's resulting in a little bit of land unit casualties, nothing too severe. The enemy continues to harass those forces with bomber attacks, but they're not hitting anything. There's also an American S-boat hanging out there, which was able to evade 2 anti-submarine attacks, taking only the slightest damage. Over in the Timor Sea, in this space called Larinateca, one of our submarines torpedoed a cargo ship, and that would have killed it. But then Carrier Division 2 came along with an airstrike and finished it off, along with hitting a second cargo ship. Carrier Division 2 also sank a minesweeper and a light cargo ship off the Australian coast, and then at Kupang they picked off an AVP. And finally, over in the Solomons, we've captured Lunga, better known as Guadalcanal, and the detachment from that heavy covering force guarding Guadalcanal took out 5 AKLs at Port Moresby. And that's going to do it. So we'll see you for the setup for the next turn. Thanks for watching.